think the pressure and the backlash because he was in an interracial marriage, you think it affected him? Do you think it got to him? Did it affect his job where he wasn't able to do like something you said, being able to compartmentalize? You think he wasn't able to separate the two?
I think he allowed the community to make decisions for him. He listened to the community, said, you this prominent guy, because what they do is says that white person that lady wouldn't talk to you if you weren't who you were.
Whoa. Did you hear what you just said?
Yes. I'm saying the community would say that white woman wouldn't talk to you if you weren't who you were.
Well, neither would the community.
That's how they look at it.
Neither would the women in the community.
I get that. Okay, thank you. But my thing is, Ocho, why do I have to live my life? You do realize that when Dr. King and Rosa Parks, they were fighting for more than your voting rights, more than your fair housing, more than your unemployment rights. It was the right to be able to choose a choice. Right. Just like abortion, that should be between the woman and her doctor.
Right.
Okay, fine. Whatever. That's a woman. Okay, shouldn't who I date, who I marry, shouldn't that be between me and my spouse?
Right.
Without outside external forces from either community?
Right.
Y'all don't have to live with them. Y'all don't have to feed us. Y'all don't have to take care of anything. Why is it that's what I don't understand. When I saw the criticism that Bronny was getting for taking a white young lady to the prom, and I see
these mushrooms make you feel better. Like a lot better.
Was getting for taking a white young lady to the prom, and I see some of these other guys. Why does it upset you so much?
This is a shakedown. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down.
In a court of law, it's about whether you broke the law. It's not about whether what you did was right or wrong. And so I'm standing with Shannon Sharpe because I don't want to see his life destroyed like Puff, like Kelly, like they tried to do to Carter, like they've done to Cosby. I don't want to see this happen to another man. And because she was not legally a child, although too young for nearly all of us to feel comfortable with a man of his age dating her, it was not against the law for him to be with this 19-year-old. So what do we know about this situation? According to Gabriella Zuniga, she met Shannon Sharpe at a gym in Los Angeles approximately 2 years ago, 2023. Now, Shannon alleges that he tried to present her with an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, which every celebrity should require from anyone they engage with. Well, guess what, Art? She decides she's not going to sign the NDA. That right there was a warning to Shannon Sharpe that this 19-year-old, who you shouldn't be dating anyway because of her age, because of her race, you need to end this. If she don't want to sign an NDA dating a celebrity, you know what that means. Her way, she's going to expose you. Shannon Sharpe should have ended it right there. The problem was she fit his type. Obviously, Uncle Shay Shay, he likes Caucasian women, as we all know. And he likes them very skinny, which I didn't know. And the reason I'm saying that,
Snow Bunny Shannon Sharpe, and this is no disrespect to my big brother Shannon Sharpe, but Snow Bunny Shannon Sharpe is at it again with his pro-Snow Bunny propaganda. Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, Chad Johnson, maybe we related, maybe we not through the Johnson dynasty, I don't know. But Chad Johnson, much respect to Chad. He was a good wide receiver. Nothing but love and respect for Shannon. Nothing but love and respect for Chad. So brother Chad Johnson, you claimed, my good brother. Brother Chad Johnson, you claim that love is love. Brother Chad said love is love. Ocho Cinco said love is love. So brother Chad, I have to ask you, my dear brother, if you believe love is love, Why are most interracial marriages involving black men? If love is love, why are most interracial marriages involving black men? Why do most of them generally consist of a black man with means and a non-black woman of lower means? If love is love, why do we see a consistent slant and disproportionality between black men and their non-black spouses? If love is love, shouldn't we find just as many non-black women of substance marrying black men of less substance? Why is it always black men of substance marrying non-black women of less than substance?
All right. Growing up, I never actively pursued, except for one small period in my life, in my older, when I was pretty much older, I did. But for the most part, throughout my life, I never really pursued a relationship with females, or anyone for that matter. No friendships. I obtain relationships with females and friendships with people only by them showing genuine interest in me for who I was. That was just how I was, right? Like, even in the neighborhood, I developed a lot of friends quickly growing up because things were not as awkward. It just seemed like we see each other and we're like, yo, let's go do this, let's go do that. It was quick. You know what I'm saying? It was genuine. We continue to play. In schools, however, it just seemed a little off. So I pretty much stayed to myself in school. But in terms of relationships with females, I never really pursued them. I got into the relationships off of them showing genuine interest in me. And maybe that stems from the way I grew up, right? Single parent household with my mother. Didn't really receive, I can't remember a single conversation about anything in terms of life with my mother. So she didn't really tell me much about or prepare me much. I had to figure out a lot of things on my own. But I also, while a lot of others seem to pursue that attention from their parents, I don't think I was that type of child. It seemed like it didn't bother me. I don't remember ever really being bothered by the lack of attention, because she was not a mean mother, right? She was a nice mother, so she would get me toys and stuff like that, or whatever she could, because we were poor, but she would get me whatever she could to keep me happy. But in terms of an emotional connection or any of that, I never felt it, right? I never questioned it. I never felt it. So maybe that's why maybe that's why relationships. Maybe that's why I went about relationships the way I did, right? Very early, like in elementary, I could remember three separate occasions with three different girls where they came and wanted to kiss me. And what I learned from that is girls were much more I don't want to say sexually mature faster. I do believe they seek out that attention faster from the opposite sex. Because like I said, it was in elementary and these girls, I ain't even really know them like that, but we'd be on the school bus, one wants to kiss, or, you know what I'm saying, one I met because of someone my mother knew or something like that, and they want to kiss. So it was pretty much happening like that throughout all my life. A female would show genuine interest in me, and we get into a relationship just off me being myself, right? I ain't never really have to go spit no game. I never desired to. And throughout that time, there was all the relationships I got into, and it wasn't that many, so I don't want to make it seem like I'm just out there like I got like that, but all the relationships I got into, I felt they made me feel that they had genuine love for me at some point, except for one, and that was the white girl that I had got with. She showed genuine interest in me, but I never felt a connection, right? I never really felt that emotional connection, and she was the only one whose loyalty I questioned. Not necessarily saying she cheated or she's the only person that cheated, because there was one that cheated, but that I was young and I didn't know enough about relationships to really take it personally when that person did cheat, right? The warning signs was there, people was telling me, but I had that mindset of, if I don't see it myself, then I ain't listening to the he say, she says and stuff like that, right? Because I didn't feel the need to question it, because I knew that there was a genuine connection between me and that person. So the thought of that person cheating on me didn't really click. I didn't understand why that person would do that, right? Because I was young and not really fully understanding the relationship. But when it came to that one white girl that I was with, she was able to show that genuine interest without the emotional attachment at any period. She was the only one, right, that would show that genuine interest, but never give me that emotional connection that I seeked. And because of that, I question her loyalty in that situation. But again, I was so naive to the ways of the world. It didn't really, I didn't really know what that was about. And I thank the Lord that we didn't end up having a child together, Because one thing that white girl did let me know is that she was in support of Hitler. And while I brushed it off at the time, nowadays it's like, damn, she was really telling me that she was in support of Hitler in a relationship with me. And seemed like the only dude she dealt with was black, because she was dealing with, I mean, that was a messy situation to begin with, because she was dealing with a dude before when we met, but she was telling me that they not together yet. He ends up walking in on us while we're having sex. Yet she ain't got nothing to do with that. But I don't know. It was a whole messy situation, but I can understand how people can get caught up in these relationships and not really know what they getting themselves into. Especially for these people that live the fast life, where they becoming successful so quickly. They don't really have time to process things. They don't, and then they're in an environment that makes them feel like they're better than. So they feel like they got it all together. Well, I'm successful in this system. Not really thinking about the fact that you're successful only because the people in position of power are profiting off of your success. Therefore, they allow you to succeed because they profit off of your success. Not saying that they don't deserve to succeed, right? I'm not sitting up here trying to say that people don't deserve their success. I'm just saying in situations like sports, entertainment, and stuff like that, you're in that position simply because you're profiting to those in positions of power. The people in those positions of power in that sector that you're in profit off of you, and that's why you're successful. Especially nowadays, where we know it ain't necessarily your talent that gets you in there. But I can understand how someone can end up in these relationships when, because black and white, I didn't see that growing up, right? I knew that I was black and other people was white. I knew about the slavery and stuff like that, but I didn't really know that stuff was still going on. Even though I might have dealt with racism, well, I didn't really deal with much racism until I got in my older years. When I became a truck driver and I started traveling outside of my state, that's when I really started noticing it. But I can understand how these people get into these relationships and see somebody that's not as successful as them trying to tell them that what they're doing is not the way to move. They got that ego thing going. They feel like they know better because they in these positions that they in, not really understanding why they in these positions. And I think that's something everybody need to take a hard focus on before any more situations like this happen, right? Because people are constantly, Umar was warning He was warning them. He was warning them before this happened. And he just showed the conversations they was having in response to him warning them. I mean, then she's younger. Like, I got with one younger female, right? And because she was pursuing me, and I had just started my spiritual journey on trying to learn more about people and the world around me, I entertained it because I knew there was something for both of us to learn from the situation. And I genuinely cared for her, right? But deep down, I knew she was too young. And we ended up ending the relationship under that understanding, because I told her, like, I was never really lying to anybody about anything, right? In relationships, I was always upfront, speaking exactly how I felt, right? And I told her, I was like, we too young, and so we just stayed friends. She got into relationships and would tell me about the relationship she's in and stuff like that. But I could understand how a dude can end up with a younger female if they not mentally where they need to be to understand that that's not the way to go. Especially for dudes that are living these fast lives. They don't have time to process this stuff. So it's important for all the people that see what's going on with Shannon Sharpe to really take that in and understand we're in this is a toxic environment. Like, most of the people in this world did not have a proper upbringing. So, like, what shaped my views, because nobody was really guiding me, I got my views basically from watching movies and TV shows and stuff like that growing up. Stuff like Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin and all those little cartoons that made you think, oh, one man, one woman come together, they get married, be together for the rest of their life. It's not that simple like it is. It's not that simple in this day and age, because we are so broken. Our family structures are so broken. And most of us are continuing on without healing our traumas. We're having children and we're still children ourselves mentally. So we can't raise them properly. Even though we might think we got it all together, we setting them up for failure as well. So we gotta really take all this in and understand that there's a necessary change that needs to take place in order to end this never-ending cycle of kids raising kids. Because here we are, just because we got money, we think we're an adult. We think we're men, we think we're women. Just because we succeed in this toxic system, it ain't doing nothing but misleading us and misguiding us. We gotta separate from this system It is destroying us mentally. And a lot of us are not even aware of it, right? Despite having social media and people all around the world trying to tell you it's misleading you. And I suspect most still just won't care. A lot of them like benefiting from the toxicities of this world. They like being able to do dirt because it's easy, right? It's easy for them to screw somebody over and enrich themselves and pursue sexual relations with all type of people all over. They love that type of stuff, right? Because it's fun to them. They don't want to change because they're so comfortable. They done found their comfort zone within this toxic world, and they don't want to give that up. But the ones that do, you gotta let it be known, man, because times are changing, man. The people are waking up. The fight is inevitable. Like, the only reason that system has been able to maintain itself for as long as it has is because of its ability to keep things a secret. And with social media and cameras all over the place, with the technology, it's impossible for y'all to do that, right? All will be exposed, as Cat Williams said. There's no getting around that because even the devil don't want to be done wrong. So you'll always be at war with yourselves. You can't win a war fighting yourself. Evil cannot triumph over good because there will always be some evil person that don't want an evil person to do them wrong. You understand? There will never be a good person that don't want a good person to do them right? You can't defeat evil. I mean, evil cannot triumph over good because it's not mathematically impossible. Even though it looks like it will, balance will always find a way, even if it means destroying everything. The balance will always come. And so I promise y'all, this path of trying to maintain this system is not the way y'all want to go. Because it's just self-destruction. If y'all fight for it too hard, it's best to just take your karma, admit you was wrong, and try to right your wrongs. And hope that karma takes it easy on you. Shannon Sharpe, this situation, I mean, $100 million deal, man. Like, and it ain't like he, because a lot of us growing up, we didn't have this information, right? We may have heard it rarely from people trying to wake us up. I remember the first person I was listening to really started waking me up to what's going on in the world was Professor Griff. And then after Professor Griff, it was red pill and blue pill. And that's what started my spiritual journey of just really gaining enlightenment of the world I was living in. And that's when the media was starting to pick up and stuff like that. Because that's when more and more information started coming out, when social media started coming out. A lot of these dudes in their positions that they in now grew up in an era without that, without much of that information to get, you know what I'm saying? They was living that fast life, so they couldn't really take the time to really see the world, the hidden parts of the world. All they could do is go off of what they seen. And so I understand why a lot of these people sold out and chose the side that they chose. But now that you know better, do you have the strength to do better? Or are you just gonna sink with the ship?